Well, good evening. I'm not going to sit here and wait till a 33 or a 44. 722 adds up to 11, and that's good enough for me right now. Anyway, I've been pondering throughout the day what I was going to talk about, and I'll explain a little bit more as I go on into the video. Nobody gives me talking points. I want you to understand that I speak from my heart as best I can, and what the title and topics are generally relate to what's going on with me. I mean, that's what I'm living right then. It's not about somebody else or something else. It's about what's happening with me, my personal account, my personal perceptions, feelings, thoughts, etc. And the title that I did select for today is Competition is Not My Game. Let everyone win. Here's the blurb. Songwriter David Roth wrote a song about the Special Olympics called Nine Gold Medals. And I provide the link for those of you that would like that. It's a song about attitude, and I said I provided the link so that you can listen for yourself if you choose. The attitude is about winning, about cooperation being more important than competition. All of our lives we've been taught that winning is everything, and many strive to come out on top, regardless of who and how many they may hurt along the way. I know I don't have all the answers yet, and maybe I never will. I do know this, though. With my heart being the way it is, I will never consider myself a winner if I leave a trail of losers behind me. At this stage of my life, competition is not my game. I want everyone to win. To me, that's the new paradigm. Let me add, it's also the new world order. If we keep going with the old world order of competition being more important than cooperation, and of making as many losers as possible, we will not only destroy ourselves, we will destroy the world. That is idiocy, it's insanity, it's psychopathy, it's sociopathy. It's a whole list of ills that can be traced to a bad attitude. An attitude of, I want my name to be the one in lights. Well, when I started doing videos over 3 years ago, I didn't know a single person that was part of the OPPT. I didn't even know the OPPT existed, nor Swiss Indo, nor most of the other movements that I've come to learn about over the last few years. I had just learned about RUSA, the Republic for the United States of America. So I knew a few of those people. I got to know them a lot more over the next year to almost 2 years, actually, about a year and 3/4 before I actually withdrew from that attempt to better the world. And then the OPPT, of course, came after that, and then Swiss Indo, and there's lots of other things. The Thrive Movement, Ubuntu, and many things. I'm not going to even try to rack my brain remembering them all. There's a lot. New Earth Project is another one that comes to mind. Great visionary things that will help humanity. But the thing that will help humanity the most is when enough of us realize that competition and the spirit of competition comes from an unbalanced ego that wants titles and authority and control over other people. The new paradigm is not about controlling other people. It's about being in control of ourselves. It's about taking responsibility for our actions, especially for our actions. For our words, too. You can't quite control all of our thoughts. At least I haven't learned how to yet. But I can, to some degree, control my words, except when I get into a reactionary mode, which sometimes happens. I'm still human. But I try to choose my words as wisely as I can, and I don't mean to ever step on somebody's toes. Now, if you remember the last video, I mentioned that I had gotten an email just prior to doing that video, and it was a very upsetting email. I have since received several more emails from that same individual uh, making accusations that I'm in my ego and I'm creating drama. I don't see it that way. I have tried my very best as I've worked with some of these visionaries from around the world to build them up and not tear them down. But some people, quite honestly, do seem to have a lot of ambition for titles and control over other people. And they want to be in the spotlight. And they sort of have a sense of resentment when anyone else has a spotlight. Now, I'm not trying to be in the spotlight. I'm doing what I've been doing and following the commitment that I made, as I said, before I knew of anyone in Swiss Indo or OPPT or any of these other things. Only RUSA, and of course my local community, was I really familiar with prior to doing the videos. The 9/11 Truth Movement, I was very much active in that prior to doing the videos, and very much active in trying to determine how the world works. That's been since 9/11, 2001, that has been a passion of mine, to figure out how the world works and what we can do to improve it, to make it better, so that we can ultimately all win. You won't believe this, maybe some of you will, but I want the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the Illuminati and the Zionists and the Jesuits and all of the nefarious organizations that have plotted seemingly against humanity, committing crimes against. I want those individuals to come to their senses and win too. Do you understand that if we leave losers behind, we're going to have to go through more of this drama? Now you say, Ron, maybe drama is what will always be. Well, maybe it will. But for myself, and for as many as possible, I'd like to not have to learn through pain and suffering. I'd like to not have to learn through making mistakes. Now, I don't mind making innocent mistakes, and there are innocent mistakes. We all make them, every single one of us. But I'd like a world that we encourage each other to win, where we are thrilled with someone else's victory, little victories, or big victories. And it's not seen as we are losing. I'd like to see us encourage and uplift one another and edify the best in each other, to bring out the best. Now, it was said that someone was upset with some of my recent videos. The person who said it's somebody else. This other person is upset. Well, I tried to get clarification on what I said that was wrong. No one, I repeat, no one made any effort to tell me what I said that was wrong. Not a single person. And the person who supposedly was upset with me never corresponded with me, and they know where I am. They know who I am. It's not like they're a stranger. They're not an easy person to reach, a very busy individual. And I will say that it's not Mr. Sino. Mr. Sino seems, from what I've observed and feel especially now that I know that he considers me his father. And that's my role. In fact, I got some emails from one of his close associates in Indonesia, sharing with me how he feels about me and wanting to actually connect with me face to face and heart to heart. You can do the heart to heart maybe a little bit over the internet, but the face to face thing requires me going to Indonesia, and I don't have the ability monetarily or in many other ways to do that right at the present time. In any case, he has the heart of a cooperator. I've seen him forgive people, that other people involved with him, uh, they had been a little bit too ambitious and were checked by other people that were on the team because they weren't team players. They wanted to be in control. And Mr. Sino, with a big heart, forgives them and reestablishes even their positions and reconciles them to the rest of the delegation, if you will. This is the attitude that I've seen demonstrated firsthand by Mr. Sino. Now, when I say firsthand, I mean the interactions of what I know about him and then what I felt when I actually met him face to face. Look, folks, Mr. Sino has a piece of the puzzle. He is not the puzzle. Mr. Sino has a legitimate bloodline, apparently, traced back to King Solomon. He's of the bloodline of monarchs, but he has the heart of a monarch, of a real king. A king like Christ or like the Buddha. He has the heart of someone that Muhammad promised, and it wasn't Muhammad coming back. It was the Christ coming back, the anointed one returning. They don't look for the second coming. Muslims don't look for the second coming of Muhammad. They look for the second coming of Christ, if you will. But the second coming is a multiple coming. It's coming in each of us, as each of us recognize who we are. And each of us realizes that we are all kings and queens, princes and princesses. We are all a royal priesthood. We are all able to connect personally with our higher self and able to connect those parts of ourselves. It's a process. It's not instantaneous. Some people have shamanic gifts and spiritual gifts that are more advanced than others, and this is a wonderful thing. But it's not about authority over others. It's not about controlling anybody. It's not about competition. It's an attitude of the heart of recognizing Namaste in Lakesh. You're just another me. The light, the divine that's in me is in you too, and I recognize it and honor that in you. Namaste in Lakesh. Okay? Get it, folks. We're all on the same team. And it's not about competition, and it sure as hell ain't about control. We each have to exercise our own freedom of speech, our own freedom of religion, our own freedom of press, our own freedoms. We need to exercise them for ourselves and take responsibility, each of us, for our own life. And when we do that, when we come into some level of balance, it becomes more and more difficult to compete with others because we're seeing the bigger picture. We're recognizing the interconnectedness of all life. And we realize that we don't have individually, none of us have all the answers. None of us have all the pieces of the puzzle. We each have something to contribute, a talent, a gift, an ability. We each have something to make the whole better. And in making the whole better, we make ourselves more fulfilled and happier. And this is where we're going. This is the new paradigm. It's not about beating somebody else or commanding somebody else. I don't want anybody to tell me what to say. I don't want to have be part of a news organization that gives me talking points. That's what we have in the old paradigm, for God's sake. I want the freedom to express myself from my heart and as honestly as I can without trying to hurt anybody, without putting anybody in jeopardy. And if somebody has something that I say that that I said that hurt them or that was wrong, give me an opportunity to apologize or to at least examine to see if I really did say something that's wrong. Don't just say somebody didn't like what you said, and then don't tell me what it was that they didn't like. And don't pass on the buck to somebody else and have somebody else say, go tell Ron this. That's BS. If they have a problem with Ron, let them tell Ron, not pass it through an intermediary somewhere. And so someone said today in the thread that I'm a warrior. You're damn right. I'm not going to let myself get walked over by anybody else. I'm going to stand in my truth the best I can. I'm going to speak my mind from my heart as best I know how. And I want to bring as many people to the finish line to get the gold medal as possible. I'd like everybody to get the gold medal. Nobody to come in second, third, or fourth, or whatever. Can you imagine 7.1 or 7.2 billion winners? That's what I'd like to see. That's the kind of earth I'd like to live on. The kind of planet where we each are our brothers and sisters' keeper. And we help, encourage, and uplift our brothers and our sisters. And in so doing, we ourselves are uplifted. Because that's the nature of the new reality. That's the nature of the kingdom of heaven. That's the nature of God's sky earth. That's what I feel from Mr. Sino. That's what I feel from many of the delegates, not all of them. Some of them are still very ambitious. And ambition is deadly because it comes from a spirit of competition, not a spirit of cooperation, which is why I didn't want titles and still don't. I'm simply a peace delegate for all the people of the world. And I thank you for listening. And if you've been offended, have the guts to tell me your side, not pass it on from somebody else. Speak to me directly. Now, I can't answer. I get lots of emails. I just want you to know that I can't answer in detail everybody's email. I just simply don't have the time. I do it the best I can. So please don't feel offended. But if it's something that really strikes your heart and strikes my heart, I will do my best to reply. And I'm hoping that I don't get an avalanche of communication requests that I'm unable to fulfill. Anyway, God bless you all. Thank you so much for listening. Namaste. In Lakesh.